Yo, guys, this is awesome, man. For anyone who wants an end to the Ukraine war, this is how we get it done, all right? The Hill. House Speaker Mike Johnson rejects White House request for $24 billion in Ukraine aid, citing President-elect Trump's imminent return. House Speaker Mike Johnson on Wednesday rejected a White House request to pass $24 billion in additional aid for Ukraine by the end of the year, saying that any further assistance for Kiev would be decided by President-elect Trump when he resumes office in January. "I'm not planning to do that," Johnson said in a response to a question if he would add aid for Ukraine to a continuing resolution to fund the government. And the awesome thing is, I'm hearing that they want Ukraine to step to the negotiation table in order to get more funding, which is great because multiple times now, at the behest of the U.S. government, Ukraine has stepped back and stepped away from the negotiation table when it would have actually been tactically beneficial for Ukraine at this point because they've lost so much more territory and lost so many more people. Johnson, speaking during a House Republican leaders news conference, said Trump's election victory is changing the dynamic of Russia's war on Ukraine and that any additional U.S. assistance for Kiev should be decided under the next administration. As we predicted, and as I said to all of you weeks before the election, if Donald Trump is elected, it will change the dynamic of the Russian war on Ukraine, and we're seeing that happen. So it's not the place of Joe Biden to make that decision now. We have a newly elected president, and we're going to wait and take the new commander-in-chief's direction on all of that. So I don't expect any Ukraine funding to come up now. Wow, that is awesome, because we were seeing headlines left and right in the media talking about how the current establishment that's in power right now wants to pressure Trump to continuing this Russo-Ukraine war and continuing the escalation, and how they were potentially looking to make moves that would make it impossible to step back, right? It sounded like they were trying to cross the Rubicon before Trump even entered office, so that way they put him in a complicated situation where who knows if they can even step back off this. You know what I mean? So it's not the White House request to Congress would have provided additional aid for Ukraine through 2026 amid expectations that Trump will pressure Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky to negotiate with Russian President Vladimir Putin for an end to the nearly 3-year war. Wow. You know what's wild? I thought it'd been longer. Just thinking, you see it so long in the news, and I've been watching since the Maidan revolutions in 2014, and then all of a sudden Kiev started bombing Donbass and all that stuff, and then the civil war started, and then they started rebelling with the Zs. They were painting the Zs because they were the rebels. See, everybody was like, "Oh, these are Russian tanks." It was the Zs were rebel tanks. Originally, they were rebel tanks, all right? That's how that started. It was originally a Ukraine war. And Ukraine, see, Donbass and Donetsk voted to secede because they are ethnically and culturally Russian, right? And that was never respected by Ukraine's new administration under the president that was before Zelensky, and then even worse under Zelensky, as the administration was falling more and more into the, World War II bad guys support, with that Azov battalion support and stuff like that. So man, it seemed like it'd been a lot longer, but I guess that's just the slow brew. Man, wild, dude. Only 3 years. Biden's request to Congress reportedly called for $8 billion for the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative, which helps provide military equipment to Ukraine, fund training of its armed forces, and advisory efforts to strengthen Ukraine's defensive position against Russian aggression. The request to include $16 billion for the Department of Defense to replenish stocks sent to Ukraine and funds to repair military equipment and DoD stocks. The funds are used to reimburse the DoD for military education and training provided to Ukrainian government or other foreign countries supporting Ukraine. The Biden administration has about $6 billion in funds left for Ukraine, but it is facing challenges in giving the full amount because of dwindling American military stockpiles. Wow. What dwindling American military stockpiles? That is, as an American citizen, that is not something I ever want to read. The administration announced on Monday a military package worth $725 million to include air defense capabilities, munitions for rocket systems, and artillery and anti-tank weapons. While a majority of Republicans and Democrats support providing military and economic aid to Ukraine, it's in its defensive war against Russia. Trump and his allies, including Vice President J.D. Vance, have criticized the amount provided to Ukraine as wasteful and diverting from priorities in the U.S. and to confront China. Guys, we are facing a multipolar Cold War right now. And it's not just with Russia through proxies with Ukraine. It's also China dealing with the front on Taiwan. It's also in the Middle East dealing with Iran and all the destabilization facing over there. So we cannot overextend ourselves, guys. This is crazy. What we've been giving to Ukraine is insane. Not to mention the corruption, the hotbed of corruption that Ukraine has been. I mean, we went over it in the timeline with Burisma, with the connections with Burisma that Burisma have to Hunter Biden, and how they were working out deals with Kazakhstan, Russia, and China out there in Burisma. Dude, the millions of dollars of kickbacks that the Biden administration was getting, and then all of a sudden we're sending all this aid, $150-300 billion over to Ukraine. Dude, this is insane. Not to mention, how have you guys seen the net worth of the oligarchs and the billionaires in Ukraine's elite class since the start of the Russo-Ukraine war? It's wild, man. These people live like they're part of the mafia, dude. We gotta end it. We gotta put pressure on our government to end it, and we have to do it in a way where they know that they cannot manufacture consent for these wars in the future, man. Because if we don't make it clear that we're not buying these narratives, they're gonna hit us with another 9/11, dude. I mean, dude. The Condoleezza Rice's presidential daily briefing, man, was telling President Bush Jr. about the Twin Towers getting attacked a month before it happened, dude. Alex Jones came out around the same time that Condoleezza Rice was debriefing President Bush before the attacks. Interestingly enough, Alex Jones came out and was straight up like, yo, what are the Saudis doing? Something's going on. Dude, guys, they're going to try to get us involved in the Middle East. Dude, I'm pretty sure he predicted the Twin Towers themselves getting hit. You know what I mean? So dude, these wars, we've been entering wars on false flags since the Lusitania of World War I, guys. So like this whole thing, like this whole war consent manufacturing system, we got to put an end to it, man. We need to reduce our foreign interventions. Our foreign interventions need to be reframed under economic stimulus and economic and trade deals, right? And we need to rework our trade systems so that we're not running deficits all over the world, man. And then, dude, in terms of immigration, guys, on my website, dude, I have a approach for immigration that I think can really help reduce tensions worldwide. And especially when we're dealing with countries that are in war footing like this and stuff like this, if we're worried about mass immigration into our country and things of this issue, if we reduce tensions and the need for refugees worldwide, right? And then for countries that are struggling economically and financially, if we take a team of people, right? A team of economic advisors and experts, right? And we go and we work with that government while providing temporary visas for people to come over here as needed, right, for like a 6-month stay, etc., while we're working with their government to then improve the economic conditions, the macroeconomic conditions that are underlying, causing the issues that are resulting in reduction of life quality, right? We then help that government restructure their economy in a way that boosts entrepreneurship and boosts wealth generation and boosts spending money locally, because that's how you generate wealth. And so if we can do that, right, we can then promote ourselves as a real aid to third world countries around the world, while also not just harboring all their citizens at the sacrifice of our welfare system in some sort of Cloward and Piven, problem reaction solution strategy. And we can actually improve our position on the world stage reputationally, as well as boosting the global economy and helping these people. They come out here, they make money, they take their savings back, they help boost their economy, the money spent locally. We have less less immigration into our country, so our economy's boosted locally, so we're already not losing all the finances in terms of handing people handouts left, right. You know what I mean? So I think that there's another system, dude. I have an alternate immigration policy on my website, guys. If you want to check it out, I highly recommend it. I also have a plan for an alternate education system. I also have a plan for an alternate economic system. The economic system and the education system are all designed to be wrapped around the principles of classical liberalism, while also discussing how we can take entities and corporations that are huge, that would usually use their money to entrench their position, and take that money and use it to help incubators for more small businesses, right? And how we can take research and development departments, right, that major corporations use to further entrench their position, and we decentralize it by taking it out of control of the corporation, and instead we have a community fund that then funds incubators that are focused on entrepreneurship, that's focused on research and development programs. So instead of companies taking all their money and then using it to file patents to then further control their position, that money then gets diverted into community programs for incubators for other entrepreneurs that want to start businesses in the community. And it's all based on classical liberalism, guys. It's all based on the idea of no longer recognizing a company as being equivalent to, and having the same rights as a person. And the economic system would not have any sort of income tax or tax on individuals' wealth. Anyway, it's a whole different way of thinking about things, guys. I really think that you guys, I would love for you guys to take a look at it. I think that it could be a real wealth generation system that could really improve everyone's quality of life and improve class mobility for everyone. So I really think that I would love it if you guys took a look at it and let me know what y'all thought. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next segment.